What we're going to be doing in this video is fixing a very kind of odd bug that kind of makes sense, and I'll explain in a minute. So currently, I have my 1911 that I spawn with, and my points are at 5,000. I shoot the zombie right in the head, it kills it. Okay, great. Points went up, zombie died. Same thing, I can keep shooting, and they'll just keep taking damage and dying. But if I purchase the M1 carbine, then switch to my 1911 again, and shoot the zombies, nothing happens. But you can see at the bottom left, it's printing out actor name M1 carbine. So if we come back and now to give you another example, if I switch back to my M1 carbine and replace it with the STG, and then switch back to my 1911, as you can see, they're taking damage again, and it's printing out the zombie that's being hit. So we're going to look at actor name wherever we printed out that log. So my guess is obviously that's probably going to be in the weapon. So let's see right here, actor name. Okay, it's printing out the hit actor. So for whatever reason, our M1 carbine, maybe it's related to the size of the hitbox or something, whenever we shoot with the M1 carbine in our back, it's going to keep shooting the M1 carbine. So our secondary weapon, even though it's hidden, is actually blocking our line traces. So when we go over here to how we switch our weapons, so we have our on rep for when we change our weapons, then we have our previous weapon. We call a function called weapon is now in hand, and we pass in false because we want to hide it. So let's go to weapon is now in hand. That should be at the bottom, which it is. As you can see, it's taken the mesh and it's hiding it. So what we want to do, since we know we're colliding with it, we want to disable its collision. And quite honestly, these should not have collisions in the first place. So what we can do to test it, I'm going to go ahead and open up the M1 carbine blueprint because that's what's causing the issue. Find a collision for the weapon mesh, then find collision. Collision presets. Let's just set it to no collision. Compile save and test it. So brought the M1 carbine, switch to the pistol. And now you can see everything is working again. It's no longer hitting the M1 carbine. So we know that we can go ahead and disable the collision of the weapons. What I'm going to do is in the constructor of weapon base, go into the top. Here we have our weapon mesh. What I'm going to do is weapon mesh. Let's see, find it. Should be like set collision enabled or something. Set collision enabled. Collision enabled. We're going to set it to no collision and compile. So I'm just going to go ahead and close the M1 carbine down as well as the editor. Wait for it to compile, and we will give this just another test, and we'll check the other weapons to make sure they're okay. But this should prevent our issue of, well, shooting. You're literally shooting an invisible gun, pretty much. That's what was happening. Which makes me wonder if we already disabled the collision on the other guns, like the STG, for example. But we didn't. We just did that in the blueprint. Anyways, I'm going to open up the M1 carbine, weapon mesh. All right, collision preset is no collision. Check 1911. No collision. And the STG right here. No collision. Alrighty. So now let's just triple check. Right, it's shooting the wall. It says so. We are good. So that's another little annoying bug down. So That's one more, yeah, one more bug down, so we're good to go. Uh, I think I'm gonna have to double check and rewatch some of the previous videos, but I think we have an issue with the knife in multiplayer, but I can't quite remember. So I want to go check that out, and if there is one, which I think there is, that will probably be the next video where we go through and we go ahead and try to fix that issue. So that way we know pretty much all of our systems are good to go and working. Anyways, if you like my content and want to support me, as usual, there is a link to my Patreon in the description, as well as if you have any questions or anything like that. There is also a link to my Discord server where I have channels dedicated specifically to this tutorial series where I can help lend a hand or others can, or just about anything related to game development. So, as usual, I will see you in the next one.